Hello everyone and welcome back to this brand new video. So for today we're starting kind of a new series which is playing fan submitted decks. So this is one of the decks that I was interested in. So over on my Discord server there's a section where you can submit one of your deck lists, and if I find them cool enough or if I'm very interested in like whatever archetype or combo you have, I will play them. And this deck is submitted to us by Prosamis, so thank you so much for submitting this deck. It's super spicy and super fun. I've been testing it for the past couple of days and it played out super well and it feels super nice. So what is this deck trying to do? It's trying to capitalize on the Rielle discard one or more cards effect, so you can draw a bunch of cards. So you do that using cards like Theory of Possibility, Cathartic Reunion, and the all-star in this deck is honestly Channeled Force, because Channeled Force with an active Rielle on the field is just so broken. Like 4 mana, draw 8. I once did draw 4 mana, draw 10. That was insane, it was amazing. Now another thing you can do in this deck is cycle cards on your opponent's turn, so you can just pay 1 using Boon of the Wishgiver, or go for blood to just draw 2 on your opponent's turn. That's very good. Now seeing as we're going to be dumping a bunch of instant and sorceries into our graveyard, Pteramander also feels good. So what does Feather do in this kind of deck? And trust me, Feather is an all-star. Why? Because first of all, we can fight as one God's Willing constantly with Rielle and Feather, meaning that we can get Rielle protection from whatever creatures on the field to have it attack, and Rielle does get to a very high amount of power in this kind of deck. Like my record so far is 20, but I mean 20 one-shot your opponent felt super nice. And besides that, Feather is also good because you can loop Channeled Force or Mythos with it. So imagine you have a Feather and a Rielle on the field. You can pay 4 mana to play Channeled Force. Target maybe 3 because you wouldn't want to do 4 so your Feather doesn't die. So you pay 3, discard meaning 3 cards, deal 3 to Feather, and then you draw 6 cards, and then you have Channel Force back on the end step. So you can kind of do that loop. Another loop you can go with is the Mythos loop, because you can target Feather with one of the triggers, and then after that it comes back to you at the end step, meaning that you can constantly lock your opponent's board. And something that I advise you doing is to attack before doing that, because that will prevent your Rielle from attacking. You don't want, your Feather from attacking. You don't want that to happen. And besides that, Go for Blood is also super good with Feather on the field, because you can go for blood, end step it returns to your hand, and then you can cycle it in case you don't need it anymore, in case you dealt with the board on hand. This is the mana base, and I will have the deck in the description down below. Once again, thank you Prosamis for submitting this deck, and I'll see you in the games. Going into our first game of Rielle Jeskai Rielle. This hand feels super good, especially Justice Strike. Not a lot of people do play around Justice Strike, and I think this matchup is going to be a very big indicator of how good this card is, because opponent, I'm assuming, is playing a bunch of cats because, not cats, a bunch of creatures because of Kahira. I think I'm just going to shock, because I much rather go for this for this thought process. Justice Strike on whatever he plays. Sadly he plays a tap land, so my reasoning was false, but you can always clear the possibility. So I'm not going to Justice Strike obviously the Grazer, because that doesn't do anything. Opponent doesn't have a third land in hand. That makes me feel a bit weird about his keep. I mean, why did you keep a hand with only 2 lands in hand, opponent? I don't know. Channeled Force and Rielle feels super good. I don't play Rielle on turn 3, but seeing how my opponent has mana issues and seeing how he's probably not playing a lot of interaction in this kind of deck, I'm assuming he's kind of an aggro deck, I believe that you can play it with no backup, and having another one in hand feels good as well. So I think we're just going to attack, and if he does block, I mean he just blocks, doesn't matter to me honestly. So opponent does block, but it really does not matter. We could drop our Feather, but I'd much rather wait. I don't think I want another Feather, obviously, because we already have one in hand. I don't think it's going to die anytime soon. The only annoying thing would be if our opponent has anything to deal with our Rielle, because I would rather have God's Willing with Rielle, with Feather on the field to kind of loop it a bit. And Feather off the top always feels good. That way we can just cycle, and if in case our opponent doesn't do anything, we can always Boon of the Wishgiver, draw 2, or we can just protect our Rielle with God's Willing. That feels like a very good turn, and this is kind of where you want to be with this deck. Have a Feather and a Rielle up. If opponent doesn't do anything, we can just abuse Rielle. If our opponent does do something, we can just protect it and then get back the protection spell. Amazing kind of strategy to go with this deck, especially that we can start looping Channeled Force. And this is exactly what I'm saying. Just use God's Willing, protect your Rielle, give it protection from black. Not protect your Rielle, protect your Feather. Don't think I want another God's Willing, seeing how we're just going to earn another one. I'd much rather get a land, and we're just going to get that back at the end step. I mean, yes, not having it go to grave is kind of counterintuitive for Feather, but for Rielle, but I mean, it's fine. I think we're going to Channel Force for 4. We could have done it for 3, but I'd much rather draw 4 new cards. And we're going to target ourselves. Probably we're going to get a land. Now the real question is, are we going to get an untapped white source? I do believe in the chances of that happening, and that just happens from the 4 cards. And this is how cool this deck is. Funniest thing with Rielle is just when you discard the hand side with the Rielle, you just draw that card again, and that's super funny in my opinion. So out of nowhere, we just deal 8 damage, Rielle grows directly, so we're going to discard our Triome because we don't need it. And we have the God's Willing up in case we do need to do anything. That feels amazing. Opponent probably just realized how good Rielle is, and I'm very sorry to say this, opponent, but you're not gonna kill that, and that earns a concede. So with that, let's go into game number 2. So going into our first game with Jessica Rielle, I mean, this hand is a bit too slow, but I want to keep this soap out, but like, just not drawing a land is enough to kind of lose us the game. I think I'm just going to keep because we have a Justice Strike on. Don't be like me, don't keep very risky hands, but I do believe in the power of Justice Strike. Opponent, please be playing a creature deck for Justice Strike to be decent enough. And we do not get punished, we do draw a land off the top. That always feels good. See, the lesson learned is you have to take risks in life, and viewer, I believe in you, and I believe that you can achieve whatever you want by taking risks, but never keep a hand as bad as this one, because this took a lot to fix, and I think I just got lucky. Opponent just was so impressed about my skills with keeping bad hands that he's considering whether or not he wants to continue this game. Answer is yes. I don't think my opponent should have continued that game, obviously. Playing Cavalcade deck, that's very sad, honestly, and I don't think our spot removal is going to be good enough, seeing how Cavalcade decks usually play multiple threats and one card, meaning like maybe the card that says when this enters create 2 elementals, or the Chandra. Chandra could be an example. Rielle has an amazing stat line currently of a 0-3, that's insane. I mean, 3 mana 0-3 defender, that's draft, that's very good. Opponent does not like these stats, he goes like, we have to take care of this. And yes, Cavalcade decks do play interaction apparently. That feels weird, but apparently it's something that happens. Go for Blood isn't something that I want to play. I think just going for another Rielle and then waiting for next turn is good enough. I really do not believe that my opponent should be running more interaction. If he is, I think that's a very, very weird Cavalcade deck that he's playing. I mean, sure, you want your creatures to attack, but I don't think that running Fire Prophecy is a good enough spell for my opponent to play. So let's see, if our opponent does attack, I'm not going to block because him pumping the banneret kind of kills my Rielle. Cranko is something that I will deal with when it comes to it. I don't think opponent can mentor anymore. Is there something I'm afraid of? Maybe shock, so I don't think I'm going to do anything. And that should be the end of my opponent's turn. Top decking a Sacred Foundry feels super good for the main reason of I currently can just pay 2 life. I can channel Force pitching 3 cards, which will be... Actually, I don't think I want to pitch 3 cards. I'm just going to pitch 2 cards. We're going to target myself, obviously. We're going to deal with the Cranko, and we're going to Justice Strike and go for Blood discard. I'd rather keep the God's Willing for later to protect our Rielle. That way we can kill that Cranko because I don't want that Cranko to survive. And now we can just draw 4 cards or 4 mana. I mean, it feels good, doesn't it? Exactly, it does. So opponent still wants to read whatever I'm doing because like I doubt everyone sees Rielle and Channel Force a lot. Mythos is very good against this kind of deck, especially that he plays a bunch of low toughness creatures, and this can just be a 5 for 1, it can be a 4 for 1. I mean, whatever it is, just a board weapon is good. So opponent is considering whether or not to take. I don't know why he's thinking that much. I mean, what can we do? Shock? Alright, sure, shock my face. Let's get over with this. Let's do this. I have decks to play and you have games to lose because you play mono red. Just joking with this. Mono red I think is a very good budget option if you want to pick it up. But currently in this meta, let's discuss mono red since I'm already talking about it. So they're mentioning about changing something with the companion mechanic. So if they do go with the route of you draw 7 cards but then you bottom something, I think mono red decks will not play Obosh anymore. For the main reason of I don't think mono red decks can start the game with a 5-drop, it's not good enough for them. So that way we might see mono red Obosh just die, opponent just top decks another Cranko, of course. I mean, that's just how my luck is, but we can just Mythos next turn and that should be enough to end my opponent's dreams of coming back into this game. I'm going to shock just to keep God's Willing up. I don't think my opponent's going to be running interaction, but I do believe that it's better to just keep it. And just to send a message, I'm going to deal 3 damage to Cranko because I just want my opponent to understand that playing Cavalcade is not good. I mean, it's not the worst thing that you could do, at least you're not playing green, but like, it's not something that we should encourage as human beings. So opponent, once again thinking too much about my play, Infuriate, that's not something I expected, not going to lie to any of you. I'm not gonna act like I know everything about this game. I did not predict opponent having an Infuriate. So I think the best thing to do is to not attack and keep God's Willing up, and I think that's the best thing. I mean, this might look like a bad trade, but like at least I prevented this, and by preventing this, what happens exactly is I prevent my opponent from creating more tokens with Kanko, and currently I think I can do something very cool with him, because opponent is just going to attack, thinking that this can't block. Alright, so I thought he was going to attack with both. Since he's just attacking with a 1 mana creature, actually I don't think I want to be taking more damage. Let's just God's Willing on Rielle, give it protection from red so he can't target it with the trigger, and then we can just block it, and that's good enough. I mean, if he has... Alright, so that's gonna be pretty much it for the opponent. With that, let's go into game 3. Going into our third game with Jessica Rielle. This is a hand I mean that we can keep. I mean, it's not the best, especially because Justice Strike doesn't do anything to a lot of things. I think it does deal with Obosh, just because Obosh says if a source you control will deal damage, it deals double, and Justice Strike makes it deal damage to itself, so it kind of deals 6 damage to itself, so it kills it. So like that's something to always remember with this card. It's not always obvious, but try to read the card well, and then you should most likely get it. If it doesn't make sense to you, I can explain it to you a bit later, don't worry about it. So we're currently taking just 2 damage, which is fine. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. I'm trying as much as possible to dig for the Mythos, because it can kill most of his boards, and that's how we are trying to survive this game. Hopefully we hit a land. That's not a land, but Cathartic next turn with the Rielle up feels super good. Super good if I don't have to... I mean, I'm not even trying to exaggerate it. Just drawing 5 for 2 mana is definitely broken, especially if you kind of hit a God's Will. That way you can protect our Rielle, block with it. I mean, that way you can just basically block Anax for 3. Hopefully we do get it. So deck, can we do it? Deck, can we do it? So I don't think I want another Rielle, and I don't think I want Feather, just because I don't think it's good enough for this matchup. So sorry Feather, we do love you, but I believe that you should go away. Actually, I think Go for Blood is just better to pitch. Although it is removal, I don't think I want to be using it that much. So Feather, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to actually discard you, don't worry about that, you're safe. So this is not the best, but I think it's good enough, especially because Channeled Force is gonna help us dig into a lot of threats. So just in case opponent is having a Bone Crusher Giant or is gonna do anything, I want to keep Justice Strike up. Just in case, I mean, it's always something, and I can always just strike the Anax just to not take that much damage. Opponent plays Phoenix of Ash, which is most definitely something very annoying. I think just striking the Anax is the thing that makes most sense to me. I mean, although it doesn't tail us taking damage, I think it's fine. I mean, we're not taking damage. I mean, it doesn't entail him getting 2/1/1s, but I think it's fine. The Phoenix is going to be very annoying to deal with, because even if we deal with it, opponent is just going to get it back with Escape if he has another land in hand. I think just playing a Temple, setting up a potential board wipe for the future is good enough. Channeled Force is good, it's not something I want to keep on top. Currently, if you don't draw our board wipe, we're a bit behind. The only good thing from this is that we have our Channeled Force to deal with the Obosh. If he taps out, I really hope he taps out for an Obosh. Please tap out for an Obosh. Please, opponent, tap out for Obosh. Sadly, opponent does not. I think he doesn't have anything at this stage. So Phoenix of Ash is the only thing that we can't block. Opponent doesn't even want to attack with this Grim Initiate, which feels weird to me. I'm not going to do anything quite yet. I want to see what my opponent has in mind. Opponent has nothing in mind. So do we just strike, or do we Channeled Force? That's a question. I think I'm just going to Channeled Force. Pitch in 3 cards. I'm just going to pitch in 4 cards. And I'm sorry to say this, Feather, but this time you are getting the axe. Sorry, I love you, but I don't need you at this stage. I'd much rather keep my Justice Strike and just be able to double spell. I'm going to draw 8 anyways. So we should be able to draw into a way to get back a Feather, or just draw into another Feather. God's Will is very good because you can just block the Obosh that way. And if our opponent kills the Rielle, it's fine. Yes, Stomp is fine, because think about it in the long run. I can just get another Rielle or draw into another one. I have a full hand, so it's not the worst of problems. And we just draw into another Rielle. I mean, always think what do I need to win, and then just draw it. It's not easy. Magic is a very easy game. I don't know why everyone complains. I am going to play a Plains, so I can God's Will and Justice Strike in the same turn. That's good. And Rielle is now going to take us into the loop of discarding to hand size twice. So I think I just don't want another Triome next turn. As if we survive, like we are probably going to survive anyways, is going to be dedicated to double Pteramander, maybe go for blood kill off something after playing God's Will. I think we can kill off the Phoenix of Ash safely, because I don't think we want to be taking that much damage at this stage. So I'm just gonna wait for my opponent to attack before doing anything. Opponent, if you just attack with the Phoenix of Ash, I'm gonna feel very happy, and he does. So currently we don't have an instant speed way of dealing with Obosh, and that's like a problem. I do admit it, but I don't think I want to be taking 3 anyways. And if we just draw a board wipe, we should be safe. So please, just give us that board wipe. I think Thrill is our best way to kind of dig for it, so let's just Thrill, discard. I don't think I want double God's Willing in my hand, so let's just and we just get another one. I play 4 Mythos deck, why am I not drawing any of them? So I think just playing Pteramander, playing another Pteramander, playing a land tap is the best route. That way I can adopt one of them, and then block with the other. That feels good. And next turn we can maybe attack with the Rielle if we believe that we have enough damage to survive. I mean, not to survive, to kill our opponent. So that feels good. Opponent, did you adopt like a land? Opponent stops one Pteramander. I'm going to adopt it in response. Is that what the opponent wants me to do, so he can stomp the other one? I do hope he does, because if he does, I'm going to God's Will. Opponent does not want to compete with this anymore, and that's going to be pretty much it for this deck. If you did enjoy the game, do make sure to subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Like the video. Thank you, Prosamis, once again for recommending this deck. If you want to recommend one of your decks, guys, just join the Discord server and mention it there, and I'll help you, and then maybe I'll play one of your decks in the future. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.